Welcome back to Geekshow Helpdesk.
Oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm so excited I'm back. I missed you so much. Actually, I didn't miss you one bit, but I'm back. I'm happy.
You had to load that one up, Tony. I heard you not know exactly where you were. You had a
No, I just wanted to draw it out.
Oh,
he was driving me crazy is what he's doing.
Yeah. I was trying to trigger Lando there.
Consider
he
myself
likes
triggered.
everything the same, you know.
I do. You can't change it.
This is the Geek Show Help Desk, where we talk about tech, gadgets, and sciencey related things.
I ate too many Doritos.
Oh, speaking of which,
Now my tummy hurts.
there is a Doritos related story in the science section today.
Jeez.
You. It's. If it's the one, I think.
Oof.
Well, let's introduce our panelists and get this party started. He's back from vacation. He's Lando.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm so excited. I got all the energies. I am faking it till I make it tonight, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm Lando.
All right.
That's high energy.
That is
There.
He's got
Paired
it.
with a high voice.
At least my tummy doesn't hurt.
His tummy hurts. He's Jaren.
My old tum. I'm Jaren. You can find me on Geekshow Arcade or Twitter.
Really, the tweets? You're still on the Twitters?
For now.
X.
Just lurks. He doesn't
You
ever
know,
post anything.
Yeah.
Hey, I retweet stuff sometimes.
I hear that place is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, there's a few people that I want to follow, and I wish they'd go to anywhere else, and I'd follow them.
Reality is finally setting in for the investors and the stock market, and
Yeah.
you can see that
it's
Twitter has
they're
no
long-term-
money coming in right now.
they're seeing some
hardly any.
long-term projections there.
Yep.
And
Not so
starting to. Ooh.
The shareholders ain't happy.
Nope. All right. Hey, Owen.
Hey, find me here. Find me on the Geek Show Arcade, and find me nowhere else recently. That's it. Tony.
And
where
we
can
have a
find you?
host.
Where can we find you, Tony?
Oh,
We have a host with
I'm
the
everywhere.
most.
You're everywhere.
Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony or on almost any of the Geek Show podcasts.
You're becoming a through line.
I've been crashing. You know,
How's the
crashing
space show?
The space show's a lot of fun.
Space show.
I say crashing, but I was invited and I accepted the invitation. But
I mean,
we're gonna
but
go
when
with
you show
crashing.
up,
It sounds cooler.
and when you show up, you do crash into a lot of things.
I crash. I'm not a very good pilot of the starship.
Come in like a wrecking ball, Miley.
That's why I'm only an ensign on the lower decks.
Joke. It's a good joke. Did you get the joke? It's a good joke.
That was not a good joke. All right, moving along to emails if we have any.
Yeah, we got
We
some.
do?
Man, he sounds sick.
Yeah.
Too many Doritos.
Oh, my stomach.
We can probably just look right inside there.
Huh?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. All right. We got an email from George Chow, who is actually a Patreon. So
Nice.
Let's
you.
go.
Hello,
says,
George.
Hey everyone, I love your show. I clean my PC every few months with regular dusters. Do you think I should get an electric duster? If so, do you have any recommendations? Thanks, George.
Hey, Tony.
Yes.
I have an electric
Negative.
duster. I can
Looking at you, bud.
Do you
talk
like
about
it?
those.
Do you like it? I
It's-
dislike the power level.
It depends on the
It's-
one you get. My
yeah.
wife has one. She uses it at her salon. It's like this big, you know. I'm making a small hand thing. It's pretty freaking powerful. Like,
Really?
Yeah, but it is loud. Oh man, it's loud. Very high pitched.
The one I had has like the bristles to clean and stuff, but it doesn't have the power to push dust out of crevasses.
That's a
Oh,
Dyson.
see, that one Jaren's pulling out, if you're watching us on YouTube, that thing's huge. The one that my
Yeah,
wife
it's-
has is like half that volume of that. It's way smaller.
so
it's
the
like
the
a-
motor's really high pitched. Then I bet.
Yes, very
It's
high
like
pitched.
a mini blow dryer.
It looks like a Dyson blow dryer is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Do you like
oh.
it?
He just inserted a thing on the end of it. Now it looks much more dirty.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would turn it on, but it's out of batteries. So
Does it do the job?
Oh no, it's not. See. Well,
Suddenly, dentist.
Well,
Whoa,
there we go.
what
Got
is
it.
it?
Got it. Yeah, it sounds like a dentist drill for sure. It's okay. It's not going to have near as much air pressure as canned air. So if you want to get that fine dust out of there that kind of sticks, this probably is not going to work. But for general dusting, it does all right.
Get a small real air compressor.
That's the real key. If you
Get
can
a little baby.
be careful,
But they're
because if
loud
you're
when
going to
they
use an
start
air compressor, you have to make sure that you
No
don't
water.
You can explode.
Yeah, you don't want to make you do not want to blow the fans, because what happens when you blow a fan really fast, it becomes a generator, because that's what a fan is.
Makes a cool sound though.
It makes a cool sound, but it could also short out your motherboard.
Can I unplug it then squirt it?
Oh, because
Yeah,
it will
for sure.
will it reverse the power straight back
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
It's like a speaker. It's really a microphone.
Burn the heads
So like
out.
mini air compressor or something you would store in your car that has a battery, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, those don't really
Those
work
are-
good for
those are meant
spraying
for-
volume of
yeah.
air.
It has
those
to
are
be
just good for-
compressed air.
Yep. So the cans are fine, but they run out and you have to buy more. I would say invest in a nicer one than what Jaren has. You can get more
Hey.
power. I'm just saying, you can get more
I
powerful
chose
ones
the
that'll do the
most
job.
powerful one on Amazon at the
Yeah,
time.
but it was
What,
like
in
3 years ago.
15?
It was 2 years ago. It has a USB-C charging port, baby.
I stand by my statement. That
I'm
does
with
not,
Tony on this one.
I don't know what the one is that my wife has, but man,
It
it
looks
is
so dirty too. I
it's
do not like the
powerful.
look of it.
What? You don't like that?
No, not in the least. Don't do
So,
that.
There you go.
Makes me very uncomfortable.
That's my recommendation.
Ah, there it is. USB-C.
Also,
No
if
one
you're gonna,
cares.
if you're gonna order it, don't be afraid to send it back if you don't like it. You know,
Yeah.
Unlike Jaren.
if you spend $60 on something and it doesn't work like you want it to, or doesn't fit what you bought it for,
You guys don't know what mine
it
is
back.
even like.
It sucks.
probably crappy.
No, it's good. I got the best one I could find at the time. I don't get crap.
Sounds
I don't
crappy.
get crap.
You even said it's not as good as a can of air.
It's still there. It's 120,000 RPM.
How's your motherboard doing?
What's your PSI coming out of that?
I don't get dust in my house.
Then why do you have it?
I don't get dust in my house. You're so full
I
of
don't
crap.
remember.
It's because he incessantly vacuums.
I wish I could incessantly vacuum. I wish I had the time.
That's James. He incessantly vacuums.
Guys,
Wow,
guys
they're
gotta
up to
have a hobby.
300,000 RPM now.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
What have
buddy.
they done?
You don't have a great
You don't
one
have the
anymore.
you don't have the greatest, buddy.
Yours is
Oh,
like
did you
half
hear
as
it?
fast.
Did you hear his mind had just changed?
Yeah,
Like
just-
his literally.
Oh wait, no. I think I misjudged. Hold on, I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, you can,
well,
you
he
can
does
get you
whatever
can get a
he's
little
gonna
you can
do.
get a little
Jared?
here you go, little 12-volt 150 psi compact air compressor at Harbor Freight for $75.
Oh, 130,000 RPM. Okay.
Can of compressed air is
Turns
145
out-
psi. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. That's
So
good.
convert
Turns
that
out the
to
one you got
RPM.
sucks. What
There you go.
now?
So just go. Here's what you do. Take
Well, I
your
only bought this last year.
145.
Holy cow, that was the longest year of my life.
Go find yourself something that does at least 145 psi,
And you'll
that's
be
the
better off than the can.
That's equal to the can.
Yeah.
So that's your metric.
They don't do PSI for electric air dusters.
Maybe
Well,
they
then.
should.
Go get the one from Harbor Freight. That's a little 12-volt that I just said. $75. We'll plug it into your wall.
Do you think you're better than me?
No,
I
I don't
do.
have one. I know you would never shop at Harbor Freight.
I have actually. Harbor
What?
Freight's great.
Was it accidental? Like it
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Did
we
you
just
not
need
know
to
it was a Harbor Freight?
we gotta get some zip ties, and I guess I'll use the Harbor Freight brand.
I was
thought-
a teenager and I didn't have one.
You
Yeah,
thought you were going into the.
Have not
elitist.
stepped in since. 'cause
You
Mm-hmm.
thought
That
you were opening
place
the
is
door to
for
the Crate and Barrel, but it was the Harbor
whores.
Freight.
That place is
for
not, Jared. You shut your hole.
I'm joking.
on.
I'm joking.
You know not of what you speak. Next
That place
email.
is awesome.
Next email is right. Do we have a next email?
No, why would you say we have a next email?
Oh.
You did infer that there were emails. You didn't say if we had them for multiple shows or all in one, so it's your fault.
It's your fault. Hell yeah, let's go.
Anyway, thanks, George.
George, thanks, buddy.
Thanks for writing in.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
and,
I
uh,
appreciates that. I like when we shame Jaron, even if it's just a little.
It doesn't matter for what.
He's so
Nope.
upset right now too.
No, I'm looking at electric air dusters
He's
now.
got to get the newest and best one because if it's not the best one, it's not good enough for Jaron.
Jaren doesn't always buy the best one. Ask him about his motherboard.
Let's ask him
Hey.
about his video card.
No, I have that now,
No,
Tony.
my video card is the best.
No.
You shut your mouth.
The motherboard he replaced, the one that he sold to you, is a lower tier than the one that he bought or the one that he sold you.
I only sell the best to Owen. He knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the second best, and you take great
No
pride in
USB-C.
knowing you're better than Owen.
No USB-C front port though.
USB-C
Well,
wasn't invented
didn't
until
really
like a
have
year
it.
ago.
And then I broke the pins off when I got a sweet adapter.
That's an Owen problem.
That was definite, and it was all for cable managers. I was like, oh, I just need to pull this thing back off so I can move this cable
Crunch.
around. Yep, it was a one-time on. I had one chance. So sad.
All right, let's talk about Doritos.
Ooh,
Again?
Yeah. So
Let's go.
Give tummy aches to the weak.
they do not give tummy aches to
But if
the
they did-
mice.
but if they did,
But what they do is the
I'm
dye
wrong.
used in Doritos can be used to make skin translucent.
Oh, I
So you
saw
can
this.
Like
This is so
like-
cool.
like a lotion. Just,
So it's a mixture of water and the dye used in Doritos, tartrazine, a bright yellow-orange food coloring. It's not only used in Doritos, but that's just one of the more
Probably
common.
Cheetos.
That was
too.
that was the best
Yeah,
buzzword
It was
at
the best,
the time.
yeah, the most recognizable item.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: is the tartrazine dye absorbs blue and ultraviolet light, and so with that in place, you rub it on skin, and
There you go. You
where did it go?
You get to see inside.
You rub
I'm
it
just
on
gonna-
skin, and then you basically shine a bright light on it, and you can see through it.
Like if you get a flashlight and stick it to your palm, it gets diffused going
Right.
through all your cells, right? This blocks half those and somehow makes it so that it doesn't get so diffused.
Yep.
Imagine like, oh, we got to check your appendix. Let's just put this lotion on real quick. Oh yeah, that's huge. That's going to burst. or imagine when they're like, let's put this on a pregnant
Yeah.
belly.
Listen to
That's
this.
no more fetal photo. We just put
Yeah,
this
you just-
lotion
you just
on,
put the lotion on, and you can see
And-
through everything.
and then the
Well,
baby's
not
just like,
everything,
let
but-
me out.
So the researchers rubbed the dye and water solution onto the skulls and abdomens of mice. As the dye was absorbed within a few minutes, they could see the skin, muscle, and connective tissues transparent in live
Hold on.
rodents
I am going to rub
Guts.
Doritos all over my body
when you
tonight.
shine a bright light on it. How crazy is that?
They said, and that this is obviously for mice, but they said the skin thickness plays a huge part of it.
Obviously,
So you
yeah.
just
So
need
we're
more
not-
orange.
So,
Dust
I don't know
on.
if you have to inject it,
So-
little shot like lidocaine, just under
Human-
the surface. But
Human skin is about 10 times thicker than mice skin.
Yeah.
So it's still a question of if this would scale up to thicker
Yeah.
skin like that. But
I can
Jaron,
imagine to
it's
a
up to you,
point.
buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, you got real thin skin, buddy.
Hey, no, I don't.
Boom.
Oh boy, do you ever?
Hey, I see what you did there.
It's a play on words. So there you go. The next time you need an X-ray, don't worry about it. Just go buy a
Don't
bag
worry.
of Doritos and rub it all over the place that hurts, and you can see it yourself.
Be like, oh, there is a bullet in there.
Just get a bright light, rub those Doritos on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the bullet.
Yep.
All right, moving along to let's talk about Starliner. This is more science stuff. Let's talk about Starliner.
Oh man, Starliner, they sent her back. They sent her back, empty-handed.
Empty. Yeah.
They sent her back. They said, "We're doing it," and it made it. It made it back, but it is. There was some more stuff that happened. I think on the way in, I didn't get a chance to read this all the way through. Jaron put this on.
Of
there
course
when I was-
not.
When Jaron put it under my notes, I was reading about the Dexcom stuff. So we're gonna anyway.
So defensive.
I know. Sorry, I get defensive when the
When-
truth comes out.
When Lando attacks you.
No, just when
I'm an
the
equal
truth,
opportunity attacker tonight, baby.
the truth in general. I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Okay.
Um,
All right, Mr.
yeah.
Mr. Former President.
So yeah, that's going on right now. That's crazy. Anyway,
So they say that Starliner achieved 85 to 90% of its objectives.
What?
I think they
they're
failed
saying
on the most important objective.
How
though.
many?
that bringing the humans back was only worth 5% of the
that's
score.
only, that's only worth 10%. Like a live round trip. I don't know about
That doesn't seem right.
They're getting
That's bonkers.
data. They're getting a bunch of data. Obviously, they weren't going to risk the lives of the astronauts, but I guess our SpaceX isn't going to be able to get up there for a little bit longer. So
Like February or something?
Yeah,
You're coming home?
February is when they're scheduled. Yeah.
That's crazy. Can you imagine
They
being
will
stuck in
have been-
space?
Yeah, they would have been up there for almost a full year.
Yeah, I just don't know.
And it was supposed to be what was it?
Like
2
or 3 days?
8 days. 8
day.
days. Yeah, it's supposed to be an 8-day thing. And
some real Gilligan's Island shenanigans going on
that's
here.
right.
In space of all places.
They had a press conference at NASA did. Boeing wasn't present, which I think speaks volumes.
You don't want to go. They'll throw tomatoes at us.
We're not doing that.
It landed in New Mexico, but it's going to take 2 weeks to get it back to NASA and about another week after that to inspect it.
Wow.
So we won't get answers for
we may never
much
eat anyway. Just because the dog houses and the thrusters that caused the main problem were shed as part of the second stage, and so they're not actually going to be able to
we'll only be able to see the aftermath of it, not what actually caused it.
Well, yeah, they're all gone. All those dog houses and thrusters got burned up when space junk when it ejected the capsule to go dock. So they can't even look at the real issue. They have to somehow try and recreate that issue with the Teflon seals and
as a result of this, NASA is very uncertain if they're going to go forward with paying for the next missions with them.
And
I don't think they should. If I'm being honest, like
no,
why?
Right.
You're 7 years overdue. You're over budget, and you failed still.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like
only by 10%.
This is why the competition and the bidding exists, right? Like, you shouldn't have to go with the failing company out of pity, out of some sort of like, whoa. I mean, they said they're going to make good.
We've known these guys for a long time, so we'll just keep giving them chances.
Yeah. Boeing's doing this whole, we're committed to blah, blah, blah. We're committed to doing this. We're committed to following through.
Wasting money and lives is what they're committed to. I just don't,
from a shareholder perspective, can you allow them to commit more money to this?
Of course not. Come on, Owen.
I feel like they're going to let NASA's going to do the whole, we don't know. And then Boeing's going to be like, well, in light of that, with the uncertainty, we're just going to call it. And everybody's just going to amicably walk away from the whatever $1 billion that it was in this project. So we'll see. But it's back.
This is, in hindsight, this is exactly what the government is supposed to step in and stop, because of when Boeing emerged with McDonnell Douglas. That was the start of the downhill trend for the quality of Boeing, because they didn't have as much competition at that point. The only competition Boeing has is Airbus, and even Airbus is kind of small compared to Boeing. So I mean, McDonnell Douglas Boeing merger never should have.
That was another they did military planes though, or did they do
McDonnell Douglas did commercial.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See what happens when you get rid of when you have the competition.
1997. Yep. So there you go. Anyway, what else? Let's talk about, this is also sciencey related. Yeah, you're up again, Owen. OTC glucose monitor.
Yeah, there's two companies. So there's two, Abbott and Dexcom. That's the two contenders here. They both got their FDA clearance for Dexcom CGMs, or for over-the-counter OTC CGMs, which is like a continuous glucose monitor. I'm really up on this stuff. My son has type 1 diabetes. Here's the problem. While these are really cool, they are for the commoners. The OTC...
For the who?
For the commoners, for the non-diabetics, for the diabetics that do not require insulin. This is not. It's not.
I guess you could say mild diabetes.
Those people.
No, this is for people. These are for the people that want to keep tabs on their.
Oh, it's not even for mild diabetes,
or for pre-diabetics that need to keep an eye on it, or if you're just curious about what your blood glucose, or if you have some other condition where you need to keep track of it, like gestational diabetes.
Is the technology not there yet for more sensitive people?
Yeah, I don't think it's got a constant enough setup. I feel like it's more like
how continuously streams. I mean.
Yeah, Dexcom, the original Dexcom, and maybe they just don't want to get rid of their cash cow, but the Dexcom G7s, which is the latest and greatest out there right now, about the same size. It's about the size of a quarter. You stick it on, it's really quick. And it links up with Bluetooth, and it connects to, and then the Bluetooth, and then the app connects back to their data servers. I don't know if this. So the Dexcom version 1 is called Stello, and the Abbott one is called Hold on, I can't remember the name of that one because I wasn't following that one as much. Um, I don't remember. Hold on.
Lingo?
Lingo. Thank you. The Lingo. So Stello is the Dexcom version. Abbott's version is Lingo. They're they last for 2 weeks, which is actually higher than it would be for the regular Dexcoms. Those are currently at 10 days. But they're not for if you actually are required to have insulin. And that doesn't really go over exactly why that is. So they're basically going for the part of the market where you don't have diabetes, like you don't have type 1 diabetes, and
just want to know what your glucose level is,
or you've got
basically?
some other condition. You've got some other like gestational diabetes for when you're pregnant, or because you have when you get pregnant, if you get gestational diabetes, you still have to like poke yourself like 3 times or 4 times a day to keep track of your numbers. And so it's for that kind of stuff, unfortunately, because the sensors themselves, to give you a little bit peek behind the curtain, for a 3-month supply of sensors, which is 10 because they go off every 10 days. So when you get a 3-month supply of sensors, that's somewhere to the tune of, with insurance, it's about $540
Oof.
every 3 months.
That's
So,
expensive.
yeah, they are spandy. And that's what you need to integrate with your insulin pump, which also has its own set of costs and supplies. So the cost for these diabetic supplies is a huge. I mean, if you watch Dexcom's stocks, they're doing quite well with the push out of the G7 this year. So I was hoping for something OTC, that over the counter, that was going to help with what I do, what we need, but not so much. I'm super excited for this just because you can use it as in a pinch. You're just not supposed to rely on it to do like insulin delivery and stuff like that. If you link it up to your pump and stuff like that, it won't have the same feature set.
Don't you think it'd be better than like the homebrew stuff?
No. So Night Blood or Night Light, I can't remember that. There's a homebrew software. Bunch of software engineers got together and made a open source one. And if I had type 1 diabetes, I would probably go with this because it's cheaper and actually integrates with more things. But
do they use crypto?
no, I don't think so. No, these are good people, Jay.
Oh, whoa!
I don't know.
You have turned.
Sorry, it's called Night Scout is the name. If you want to go look that up, if you have type 1 diabetes and you are tech savvy, Night Scout is doing some amazing things with the technology, where they are failing forward, failing fast. Is that what it's called? Kind of the tech startup way, but I watched a video from one of them where they are setting up a closed loop system, right? So right now there is human interaction with diabetes. You eat something, it's going to tell you a number. It can do some auto adjustments, but you have to approve. It's not a pancreas replacement. It's not closed loop. It's not all being done by the computer. There's human interaction. Night Scout, those guys, I watched a video where they've been doing programming and they've been tracking and doing all this data collection. And he watches his daughter eat a piece of pizza. No dosing, no dosing involved. She didn't have to count carbs. She just ate the pizza. And on the software, you saw it go up, peak. It senses that she ate a bunch of carbs, and it just automatically doses her for what she wants and brings her back down in range.
Wait, what hardware do they use for this, though?
They use the same. They can use the same CGMs. I think they can use. I want to say it's Libra. I think it integrates with any CGM, though. I think you can use Dexcom or Libra 3 or whatever ones are out there. But it's a lot more dangerous because you're putting your AI can go wrong.
Yeah,
and
you're putting your health in the hands of the program.
Not only that, but
your glucose levels in the hands of the program.
What happens when the CrowdStrike outage happens at that point, right?
Or what happens when somebody decides to mess around with it because they catch the signal and they're like, oh, what if I send this to this device? Or what? There's a lot of dangerous stuff that can be done when it's all connectivity. So that kind of stuff hasn't passed yet, but Night Scout is actually pretty cool if you look it up.
What's happening, Darren?
That's Owen.
My wife's sending announcements. I muted halfway through that one. Sorry. My wife's telling the kids to go upstairs.
Get upstairs. Well, cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing about this is that, it might not do what you want it to do right now, but it is pushing the technology in the direction that maybe in the future it will.
Yeah.
So,
And it does a lot of stuff for, like I said, non-type 1 diabetics. Like there's a bunch of other applications. So it's really exciting because if you want like to get approved for a Dexcom, it's like you have to have just to get the insurance to approve it, you have to have diagnosis of diabetes, and this is over the counter. Instead of $250, it's $50 for a 2-week supply. So, or whatever. So it's a really good solution for if you've ever had to do finger pricks for any reason. You'll appreciate this. It's really cool stuff.
Nice. All right. Speaking of pushing technology ever so slightly, the Apple event was this week.
Ain't that the truth?
Did they invent some new old things?
Didn't invent a dang thing.
I want to be so excited for this, but I'm just not.
Hey, they invented a new button. Come on.
Yay!
Windows phones had camera buttons 10
I
years
didn't say it was
ago.
new to the industry. It's new to Apple, though.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a button. It's like a touch sensor. It's touch
No,
sensitive.
it's an
It's an actual button.
It's an actual
too, yeah.
button?
Yeah.
I had
It's
back
both.
in the day, I had a Sony camera phone. It had like an 8-megapixel camera. It was basically a camera with the phone built onto it.
I had one of those too. I had the Sony
And-
K850i. I loved it. It had a camera button.
It was awesome. Yeah, it had a
was
dedicated camera button. It
one of my
even had
favorite phones.
the dual action where you hit it. You halfway push it down, it would focus, and then you push it down further. And it
Oh,
takes
like
the
those
picture.
old elf cameras.
Yeah.
It was a good phone, that Sony. And so anyway, I'm excited for the camera button because I've been
That's the
pining.
only thing I was excited for on this.
I've been pining for a legit camera button since my Sony days in 2008. So, yeah.
Does this let you do that type of focus where it will like you press the button halfway and it'll like
You don't
do
really
some-
have. You can, but I don't think you need to because it's always taking pictures anyway for its computational photography stuff.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't really
you
make a
can
difference.
track a subject by holding it down, so you don't lose focus of that subject.
That's
Oh,
good.
that's cool.
Anyway, the Apple event, they started out with Tony's favorite, AirPods. His
Oh
heart
my
was he was
goodness.
palpitating for
I
new
was until
AirPods
they-
Pro 2.
Until they said, yeah, we're only updating the regular AirPods.
Yeah.
Not
So
the pros?
not the
but
Pros.
the Pro 2s are getting some software updates and some software enhancements that look pretty rad.
Yeah. So let's get into the AirPods. The mainline AirPods were updated. New design. They kind of look similar to what they were before, but
Yeah, they don't look
supposedly
that
it's a new
different.
design.
Yeah.
$130 has USB-C case, which is great. Get rid of that Lightning. And then for $180, $50 more, you can get active noise canceling
Nah,
and open air AirPods.
Here's where the snake oil comes in. I don't buy this for a second. The only way you can get actual noise canceling is if you can first seal the noise out to begin with, and then do the anti-noise algorithm. And
Do you think it could be better than the original AirPods, though?
Much.
I would hope, but Samsung did this a couple years ago. Their Beans. They said there was active noise canceling on their bean looking ones. It did not do a dang thing.
Well, that's Samsung. Don't grade Apple based off of Samsung's F.
But
how
it's
can
physics.
Yeah,
you
no
do-
joke.
how can you-
It's physics.
how can
though,
you
is the
do
thing.
noise cancellation without a seal?
Now
Well,
that being
I'm
being
curious
said,
about the reviews.
I am curious. That being said, I am curious, and if any company would be able to do something like that, it would be Apple or Bose. They are the kings of noise canceling, in my opinion.
Apple also kind of sort of updated the AirPods Max.
Gave it USB-C.
Gave it USB-C and more colors.
And
Yep.
sweat channels to like drain the
It's
sweat away.
been
and
4
Nope.
years since the original.
anti-rust.
Nope.
It still has the H1 chip, whereas all the new AirPod earbuds have the H2 chip. So they did the bare minimum on this one, which is
Absolutely, the
unfortunate.
bare minimum. Oh, also, you didn't mention the more expensive AirPod set has wireless charging on the case too, as well as USB-C. The cheaper
Indeed.
ones don't have wireless charging.
And then lastly, for AirPods Pro 2 did not get a hardware update, but they announced some pretty cool features that goes along with hearing health. They're adding a bunch of hearing tests, and on top of that, they are getting approval to make AirPod Pros 2 hearing aids.
Yeah, a form of a hearing aid, because hearing aids can be over the counter. And so Apple is taking advantage of that with the H2 chip and stuff that they have in there to actually
They can actually be classified as a medical device?
Wow. I don't know if they classify it as a medical device, but it will have medical approval, like FDA approval.
Yeah, because like getting that classification would be huge, because then insurance would have to cover it.
Think about that.
You know, like if you're like, I'm
Insurance
having problems.
fraud spikes.
It's not fraud. If
are you kidding me?
But it can be.
Oh, it would be. Oh, for sure.
Insurance would love to buy someone a set of AirPod Pro 2s instead of an actual set of.
Yeah,
because the actual hearing aids are like $1,400, right?
Yeah, anywhere from $1,000 to $6,000.
Whereas AirPod Pros 2 are $250.
Exactly.
So as a hearing aid device, these are insanely priced, but they're also not very discreet like a hearing aid.
I'd love to see Apple get into that for real and start doing like the personal moldings and stuff, and like actually doing
so cool.
Doing Apple branded hearing aids.
They also supposedly the software update too, I read, is supposed to increase the active noise canceling further, which I can already tell you the updates they provided to the set that I have over the last 2 years it sounds better than ever. Active noise
you are
canceling
frothing
wise.
at the mouth, Tony.
Here's a question. Apple users.
I cannot overemphasize the quality of the active noise canceling and noise or audio pass through of the AirPod Pros 2. It's amazing. Every time I use it at the gym, I'm blown away.
If you Apple users, if you had the unholy union of Android and you were using AirPod Pros 2 with your Android,
don't do it.
Not saying that I do or would. How would you get the update?
iPad.
You can't
hook them up to an iPad.
Yeah.
You cannot do it through Android. The only way it works is you can't even request an update on an iPhone if you have the AirPods hooked up to it. They just send it out when they feel like it, and when it connects,
it just goes. It's just like a soft, just like
it's a silent
iTunes.
update in the
like
background.
iTunes.
And there's not even any there's not even that I noticed there's not even anything that I've ever noticed about it saying we're doing a firmware update.
That's annoying because that's actually kind of nice to like go check for a firmware update and be like, oh,
you just have
I've got a new one.
This is what I've hated about Android and the Meta Quest. They don't push it out all at once. They do it in stages. Well, it makes sense from the company's perspective. Like, if we screw something up, we don't screw everyone up.
Better to aim small, miss small type thing.
All right, moving on. Apple Watch. They kind of sort of redesigned the Apple Watch.
Round face, Karen. Did we get a round face?
Redesign.
It did not get a round face.
And then they're just like, it's thinner.
Yeah. Like it's slightly same shape, isn't it?
It's the same shape. It's 10% thinner.
I think it's slightly different curvature on the edge, I think. I could be wrong.
They're getting rounder then. So they're getting rounder.
In the wrong direction, though.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah. I want them to offer a freaking round watch, circle watch setting or product. That's what I would buy. Anyway, the Series 10 has a wide-angle OLED display. I guess
40%
first of its
brighter.
Kind, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is good for a watch because often when I look at my watch, most of the time I look at my watch, it's at an angle.
Yep.
So that's cool. The stainless steel was replaced with titanium.
Ooh.
It has a new S10 chip. Is that what it's called? S10?
Give me a functional reason why titanium is better than this.
It's more durable.
It sounds cooler.
So will the titanium replace
more durable to make a difference?
The titanium replaced the stainless steel. So not only is it more scratch resistant and more durable, but it is also lighter. So
okay.
And that's for the more expensive model. If you're cheaping out on it, they're still aluminum, but at least they have a shiny aluminum option, which I am all for. If I were to get one, I would get the shiny aluminum.
Yeah.
Shiny black. It's pretty cool. They added sleep apnea tracking, which is
So a microphone, a
They-
more sensitive microphone.
It's,
Well,
can hear
they
you
said
it's
it's
snoring better?
accelerometer.
Yeah, they
based.
said it's accelerometer based, and this is what ticks me off. They said it's accelerometer based, but it's only coming to the Watch 9 and the Watch 10. Guess what? Every single Apple Watch has had accelerometers built into it.
Maybe they're not good enough, Tony.
I
a new
highly
one.
doubt
Is
that.
it-
Maybe
You
it
don't know.
requires
You're not an engineer.
more- Maybe it requires more readings of the sensor, which requires more CPU. And
There
Well,
you
there's
go.
a possibility.
See?
There's a
How is an
possibility.
But how is an
I'm with Jared for
accelerometer?
once.
But how is an accelerometer picking up your
I don't know.
sleep
Yeah.
apnea?
Supposedly, it's accurate enough though that they're almost finished with the FDA approval. So
I mean, the heart one's been. I've seen real life use cases of the heart one
yeah,
where somebody I know was having AFib, like,
Right.
and they're like, "Hey, you're having a heart thing right now. You should go get that checked." Like, wouldn't that be funny? Like the paramedics show up and they're like, "Oh, well, his Apple Watch warned him. He should have gone in."
guarantee
Anyway.
that's happened.
yeah, probably.
Ugh. They're like, "Ugh."
The one thing, well, I guess the second thing I wanted wasn't announced. Better battery life is the exact same battery life. They made it thinner. I wish they would have kept the thickness, added more battery, but
Would have been nice.
it's
Right?
Apple. It's
Must be
Apple.
nice.
They talked about Apple Watch Ultra 2 as if it was a new product when it's not.
It's
No-
definitely not.
No new Ultra.
They're
Same
just, are
one.
they going to lower the price to make
Nope.
it seem
Nope.
new?
No.
they just wanted to bring it back up. Hey,
They,
say
add,
something
they
about the Ultra.
added
We
a
got
new
lot of
color,
stock left over.
and we're talking about it as if we're brand new. I'm like, wait. They said Apple. They said Watch Ultra 2. Why are they talking about it like it's new? So that really bothered me, but whatever. All right. I think the highlight of the show was the iPhone 16, the non-Pro version. This got
Yep.
quite a few good upgrades compared to, well, the Pro did too, but I think this one had more significant upgrades compared to the Pro.
Yep.
They are going to an A18 processor up from the A16, so they're bypassing last year's Pro chip altogether.
And that's the same chip in both the Pro and the 16, correct?
Almost the same.
Almost. The Pro has
A18 and
a single
A18
GPU core more.
A18 Bionic, not Pro. A18 Bionic has one more GPU core, and they said it does have a little more cache on the
right.
CPU.
Cash.
But
cash
for all
sells.
intents and purposes, for all but your absolute super duper power users, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I was looking at the comparison
Bragging
charts,
rights,
and I'm
buddy.
like,
Yeah.
bragging rights.
the biggest reason for me to even think about a Pro is the 120 refresh as opposed to the 60.
That's the most disappointing thing about the 16.
Mm-hmm.
It's a awesomely solid phone all around. Great processor. Apparently it has 8 gigs of RAM because of Apple Intelligence, which is quite a big upgrade for just the baseline
The base model.
And it's got a 2000 nits brightness screen.
Down to 1
Can
nit.
go all the way down to 1 nit, which is awesome in low light. So great phone all across the board, except it has only a 60 hertz refresh rate, which rival phones from Android you'd get
even
120 hertz
90
for that price.
or even
You can-
90. Like
Yeah,
you should,
even
that should be
90
table
would have been
stakes.
nice. Well, you can get a $300 Android phone that has a 120 hertz screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
If they gave it a 120 hertz screen, though, there would be the lines between the Pro and the non-Pro would be blurred quite a bit.
Very blurred.
Big time.
Um,
Because I'm looking to
surprising-
buy in my next phone, and I'm going, oh, do I really need to spend the extra $200 for the Pro just for
Surprisingly,
120?
along with all those other things, the regular one got the new buttons as
Yeah,
well.
everything.
It got everything.
So besides the screen, the one major downside is the cameras. Though I think the cameras are quite nice in the
They're
16.
still great. Yeah.
They added the
For
48
me, they're
megapixel.
awesome.
They added the 48 megapixel main camera like on the Pro last year. However, the ultra wide is still at 12, so it doesn't get the 48 megapixel sensor.
I
The
don't
Pro, it added a 48 megapixel megapixel sensor in the ultra wide, so now it has two 48 megapixel sensors. And the non-max version of the Pro has a 5x zoom now, unlike last year, which it was 3x. But the camera button, it is a button. It goes down, but it's also a sensor with a taptic feedback in that. So you can like halfway push it, and the taptic feedback will make you think you're halfway pushing it, or you could full push it, and that's like the full on button.
Yep. And it's like a trackpad.
Yeah.
You can slide your finger up and down it to change the settings,
can
change
pet
the
it.
zoom, all of that kind of action without
Like
having to
spin
move
it, do
and
some
touch the
light
screen.
Different. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so extremely iterative,
Little
just like
clockwise.
all iPhone or just all phone announcements in general lately.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, but
you-
I'm 2 behind, so it's a big deal.
even then I still
I
think
don't
it's
even know
iterative.
I don't even think you're gonna notice that much of a difference either.
Unless
unless you
you-
get way into the Apple Intelligence stuff.
And
Yeah,
I'm not.
I guess Apple Intelligence, that's a big feature. In addition
on
to
both.
if you're a big camera guy, you love camera improvements, it's probably worthwhile. But if you don't care about pictures, then unless you really, really want Apple Intelligence,
So
I don't
here's-
think you need
You'll
it.
get a little
Here's-
more battery life out of the pros as well.
Here's where I'm at. I'm on a 14 Pro, right? So I'm 2 behind. I'm thinking, do I want to just buy the regular 16? Am I going to miss the 120 that much?
Or you can get the 15 Pro, and that'd get you Apple Intelligence too.
Or do I try and hold on for another year on the 14? My battery's at like 80% health.
Honestly, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably fine.
Because, like I said, unless you're way into the Apple Intelligence stuff,
I'm not.
then
Yeah,
you're not
then
gonna
why do
you're
it?
you're not gonna get a better camera experience going from the 14 to the 15 or
It's fair.
the 14 to the 16 regular, the 14 Pro to the 16 regular. Your camera experience is probably going to be the same. Your battery life will be within spitting distance.
Well, my battery life right now, my phone will get me through a day, and it's close.
Really? Because I have a 14 as well, and I get through a day easy. I usually have like 30% plus.
So
by
I
the
guess
time.
it depends on use, right? Right
Yeah,
now I'm
well,
at
yeah.
28 is where I'm at right now. From waking up at 6:50.
Yeah. So I mean, would you feel really ripped off if you did an upgrade? Probably not.
Probably not.
But
I
would
know.
you get that tasty gadget lust? Num 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 num. If you did upgrade, absolutely you would.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe we'll play a game and see how long Lando can hold off buying a new phone.
I play that game with things like graphics cards, and I don't ever last very long.
It breaks down every time. The wall gets chiseled away every time you think about it, Lando. Just want you to know.
It
You
does.
never win. Every time your mind goes to the thought,
Well,
you lose a little ground.
Yep.
Let's see how long we can go, shall
All
we?
right.
The trick is not to ever think about it again.
It goes on pre-order. Is it pre-order
Friday?
right now?
Friday?
Or Friday? I think
Oh,
I think it's
soon?
Friday.
Yep,
You
just
can
took out it.
pre-order.
right.
Yep, just took out another brick out of the wall there, Tony. Tearing it down for him.
All right. Anything else we need to hit with the Apple event?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
boring.
Let's talk about another phone real quick. Huawei.
We have to.
Yeah, because this is pretty dang cool.
You think
Huawei.
this- I don't know.
I am up for this. This is the future I want. Huawei has unveiled its very first tri-fold phone. It folds up like an accordion, like a map,
like a Z,
like a-
right?
like a Z, yeah. And so you can use the front like a regular phone, or you can unfold it to a 10.2-inch screen.
It's like an
with it
iPad
fully-
size
Yeah, it's a regular iPad size tablet when it unfolds all the way, and that's amazing. Obviously, you're gonna have to be careful with it because it's all screen.
They're flying.
you know?
This is
Yeah.
Icarus.
They're
This
flying
is Icarus.
close to the sun.
This is
yep.
Icarus all over again, Tony.
Now it's called the Mate XT. We'll never see it here in the U.S.
'Cause they're
You'll
banned-
have to
'cause
import
they're-
it because they're banned. They're banned.
Yeah.
Huawei is.
Yeah.
But if you do want to order it, starting price in China is $2,800.
Where they make it?
Oh, get
Wow.
an
Yeah,
iPad Pro.
$2,800
and an
starting
Get a
iPhone
new-
price.
Pro.
Get two
It
devices.
is crazy expensive. So, but I mean
And
that's
they're-
the price
are
to
they still
pay
running
for.
their
cutting
Huawei
edge.
OS or whatever it is. It's just running a variant of Android and
It doesn't say unless it's further down.
any other cool specs. RAM, like screen, like
No, it's gonna have all the standard stuff
all
that
the
your
flagship
flagship
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
Android has. It probably has 16 gigs of RAM and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Does it say
Does this
that
go
even?
to show that the US isn't as powerful as they think they are when they ban a company and then they continue to do well?
Well, I
Or
mean,
is Huawei
China's
not
market
doing
is
well?
just so big.
Right.
Huawei's huge.
Yeah.
Huawei does tons of business.
Okay.
They've already had 3.2 3.2 million pre-orders for this phone. 3.7.
Holy
3.7 pre-orders
At
bu-
$2,800
as of Tuesday.
US?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So anyway, I just saw that though, and I thought being a big fan of Westworld, these are the kinds of devices they have in Westworld when they're
Freaking love
working
that
on
show.
the androids and stuff
Those
like
tablets, yeah.
that. The tablets that fold out 3 ways and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's cool. And I
Let's
want
splurge and get one ordered, Tony.
$2,700
Yeah.
for a phone that doesn't even work on the
No,
carriers here in the
come
US.
on. We'll just listen. We're gonna
The gadget.
dear our Chinese-based listeners, you guys hit us up. We're looking for somebody over there that can
Geekshowhelpdesk@gmail.com.
yeah.
Right.
get us one of those phones to play with.
So there you go. That looks pretty dang rad. Okay, let's talk about I like this. A different kind of Apple event.
Yeah. This is the kind of Apple event that costs a little bit more than the other Apple event. This one costs $14.345 billion
With a B?
with a B. So, back in 2016, there was a big kerfuffle with Apple using Ireland as a tax shelter.
Oh, yeah.
Ireland gave them like less than a 1% tax rate
I
to
remember
come
this,
there,
yeah.
And Ireland agreed to it. Let's
yeah,
be clear with
Ireland
that.
agreed to it.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and they did. But they're part of the EU, so the EU came after them. The financial cops that called European Commission. They said that they tried to come and get the whatever billion, and they were denied. The case was shut down. It kind of went nowhere, but it came back in 2020, and they have been found that they upheld the amount, and it's not they're not saying Apple has to pay. They're like, Ireland has to get this money back. So
Either you get it from Apple or you pay it yourself.
yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
Wow.
And so it's 13 billion euros, which when I did the math on that, it
Probably
was
like $15 billion.
it was like 14.4 billion in US. And so that's a lot. That's a lot of money. They're saying that they abused their power and that they got an unfair advantage. And Apple and Tim Apple are saying this bunch of political baloney, but they did stop doing it. Like Apple,
it's that much baloney, huh?
It was so much baloney that they stopped doing it as soon as they got caught. But this case is going back to get that to be like they haven't done it since 2015. Yeah, Apple subsequently ended its double Irish structure after Ireland closed the loophole in 2015. So
they gave him an Irish goodbye and left.
They I guess they just but now the EU's like, yeah,
we still want our
guys.
money.
We want our. Where's my $2? You know, like,
right.
like
So the EU's like, all right, big businesses, we don't want you here. We're gonna screw you over.
Yeah. Well, they're basically saying, Apple's argument is that we already paid our taxes on these in the U.S., so this shouldn't be. And it's like, no, you didn't.
No, the whole reason they were in Ireland was so they didn't have to pay in the U.S.
Exactly.
But to be fair, like Jaron said, Ireland agreed to this. If the EU thinks that Ireland owes them this money, it's Ireland's problem to come up with it.
Yeah, Apple.
Whether
Apple
they get it from Apple or whoever they get it from.
Exactly. Apple didn't hoodwink these guys. They agreed to it to try and get the business over there to have they were so excited with even less than 1% of Apple's revenue that they were willing to still make the deal. So, yep, that's a spendy. That's like probably a Wednesday afternoon for Apple. So
I wonder how much more abuse Apple will take before they're just like, all right, EU, we're out.
I know
the market's too big. They won't do that.
It's big, but it's not like China big or
they're
India
still making money.
Or US
They're still big.
Exactly.
They're still making tons of money.
Right. At what point, though, Jaron? That's a good point. At what point does Apple just call their bluff and be like, your people, the people that vote you into office democratically, want iPhones? So at what point do they just call their bluff?
You're getting into mega corporation territory now.
I know, right there.
Who pulls the strings?
At what point does Apple just go, okay, fine, we're not doing it. we're not going to pull out of your country. We're just not going to do it. And then when they kick them out or fine them, and then Apple goes, we have to leave. Then the people rise up for their
revolutionary action.
AirPod Pro 2s.
That's right.
For those sweet AirPod Pro Maxes.
Those sweet sweat
cheese
cups.
grate. Those sweet cheese grater Apple Mac Pros or whatever they're called.
Indeed. All right, last story of the day. Let's talk about DJI's new drone, which looks pretty rad.
Oh, I've been considering.
You're on the fence with a new drone, Jared?
Oh, he's
You got the best
he's
one,
shocked.
Jared.
He's pretty
You
much
shocked?
climbed off the fence at this
Oh,
point.
this looks
he's got a
really
hand
cool.
still
It's
up on there,
it's-
steadying himself.
Come
It's
on.
impulse buy territory. It's
Oh.
$200 for. It's called the DJI Neo.
I must
It-
see this.
It is a
Just
mini
tell ya.
drone. It's half
Yeah.
the weight of the DJI Mini. It's pretty small. It can like pretty much fit in your hand. Has like 18-minute battery life, but it has a 4K 30 FPS camera on it with a gimbal that only
that's
goes up and
dope.
down. So I mean, it's definitely gimped compared to their other drones, but it's
But
also
the price.
but it's cheap. It is tiny.
Yeah.
You can fly it around inside because it's so small.
It's got guards over all the
It's
props.
got the guards over the props. That's what
I
I was
love
So
gonna
you're
say.
not going to gouge the wall like I
Or
did in my house.
Cut my or crash it into my children inside.
There is no micro SD slot. It relies on 22 gigabytes of internal storage. Weird number there.
That is a weird number.
Yeah, probably 10 gigs of like software
Actual
for their own
storage,
stuff.
yeah.
You can control it with your phone over Wi-Fi, with like a screen on it, or you can just buy their standard remote for like $100 and something.
Would you trust the input lag on your phone to do that over the?
For inside stuff? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
But
For
if
just
I ever
like
flew
maybe-
it out, if I ever flew it outside, no way.
Does it have any of their cool tracking stuff where it, like you can set it to follow you and? Like,
Oh yeah, tons of that.
It
I'm
actually
looking at the
does.
page right now.
Yeah.
It actually does.
It's
because
yeah.
that's
so
the
freaking
cool part
cool.
about like you can set it to be your companion while you're doing stunts or whatever. I don't know. A lot of
But
people.
not only that,
do
but
it.
too, you can record sound from your phone as it's flying and following you around.
Yeah, or you can
Oh, you
get the
can
DJI
narrate.
mic
Oh.
and have it record through the mic as well.
Oh,
Oh, this
okay.
is so dope.
Yeah,
For $200, that's
it's
not.
freaking awesome. It can withstand up to 18-mile-per-hour winds.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's 24-mile-per-hour winds for the Mini 4 Pro, so it's really not that much worse with the more expensive drone.
And you can use the goggles with it too.
Oh yeah, you could use the FPV goggles, which is
Yep.
sweet. Maximum horizontal speed is 18 miles per hour in sport mode or 36 miles per hour in manual mode.
That
I
seems
read
slower.
Why
that
is
too,
manual
and
so
that
much
seemed
higher than
weird.
sport? I don't get it.
I think manual just unlocks it all the way.
Manual's only available with FPV controller. That's
Take
Oh,
off from
okay.
the palm of your hand to the sky. That's dope.
Yeah, it's just so tiny. You could like, it shows someone putting it in their pocket. I mean, your pocket may vary, but
Your pocket
Where you,
size, maybe.
okay, here next question. Where are you guys flying drones now though? Like
That's the
family
thing.
events? Like you can't take them to
nowhere.
national parks anymore.
I
You
don't fly
can't
them
really
anywhere.
fly anywhere in the city because of the flight restrictions and
like
stuff.
my drone is, I love it, but it's still kind of big. It's an event when I use it.
Yeah.
This seems like it'd be less of an event just because of its size. I
I
don't
guess
know.
you could go fly it like up in the mountains. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the videos I'm seeing right now are like it's following motorcycles around. It's like the thing that like looks really cool to me is I just got back from Lake Powell, right? They had a shot of it flying around somebody surfing behind a wake boat. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
that
true.
would have been
That would've
freaking
been cool.
dope to have.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like a lot of action shots or like a lot of sports and stuff. You could have it do the 360 views and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, I'm gonna get it
For $200, man, this
Jaren
thing's
is-
freaking sweet. I'm
he's
I'm with Jaren here. This is
He's
impulse
basically
buy
committed.
territory.
You can
Yeah.
get the combo kit with 3 batteries and a charger for $289.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I wish it
Nice.
came with the remote. That'd be sweet.
That would be sweet. You have a remote.
That's
though.
what they need to do is make a bundle with the remote and 2 batteries.
I'm not sure if my remote would work for it.
Oh, really?
Maybe not. I don't know. I'd have to research that.
Yeah, for
Yep.
$289 you get
Looks
3
pretty rad.
batteries.
I'll bet they have it at Costco within a couple months, and it'll be even cheaper.
that
in a bundle.
You think that have they sold the DJI?
Oh yeah, they've sold
Costco?
the 3 and the 4 and the 2. The minis. Yeah.
Is it like online only, or can you actually?
No, they were in the store.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Indeed.
With that return policy, I broke it. It broke, is what I meant to say. It broke.
This is probably the best last story we've ever done.
Well, there you go. On that note, we were going to wrap it up. But before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. Thank you so much to those that donate to the cause. Keep this party rolling, this train on the tracks, and provide us with the money we need for the hosting fees, etc., etc. If you donate $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has right now.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Aaron Faulkner, Connor Keesaw, Wiffleball Tony. Those are our extra special people.
Huzzah!
Thank you.
They're the best.
Jason Eatman, Mies Chonies, Mountain Balls, Grandmaster of Death Kwon Do, Be the 8-Year-Old, Michael Shane, Tony the Home Theater Geek, Travis Johnson via Geekshow Arcade Top Desk stickers at Pineman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George K's medical bills. Jeremy, No Name No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, the in-between rating +15.
Let's go.
Matt Nelson, DP, Wesley, Adam, Stuart Lloyd. The problem with society is meatballs is tasty. And Ryan.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are awesome. That's it for today. We'll see you in Geek Show Arcade or in the in-between or next time we get on Geek Show Help Desk. You know, whatever you want. Choose. 1, 2, all. I don't know. Lando, take us out.
This is a Tony quote. Next time you hurt, just buy a bag of Doritos and rub it where it hurts. Be an end user.